Hi! Ever wondered what is it like to care for a parrot? Hello, I'm Pedro, and in celebration of International Parrot Day, we have Keeper Mark from Jurong Bird Park's Breeding and Research Centre here to tell us a little bit more about it. Hi, Mark!
Hello.
Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about your job at the BRC?
I'm a hand rearer, and that means I raise and care for baby birds. A lot of them come to us as eggs that we artificially incubate and hatch, and then we basically get them ready mentally and physically for life in the larger aviaries in the park.
So, Mark, parrots are really such amazing and intelligent animals. So, how do you keep them busy? Let's talk about this particular enrichment that you have set up.
So there's three main things happening. You got the two more permanent fixtures, I guess, which is the tray with all the leaves, and you got some perches as well. So these two will stay in there for a couple of days, maybe a week. So the parrots will have to learn how to maneuver around them, but they also get to play with the leaves and the flowers and the bark. And yeah, we try to change the environment, I guess, as often as possible, so they're not used to the same furniture for too long. But the fruits in the wire baskets, these are what we call suspended forages. So they're basically a food-based enrichment made of thick wire that you basically make shapes out of. So the birds you see here are all lorikeets. So they're generally small, colorful parrots that have adapted to eat nectar, pollen, and some fruit. So we put fruits in the devices that may not be part of their daily diet. So fruits like dragon fruit, sugarcane, oranges. We know the birds really love them. So I guess it's extra incentive for them to use the devices. But the thing is, they're not, I guess, easily accessible. You can see that the devices move a lot. They almost behave like flowers that the lories have to, like wild lories have to extract nectar from. And, they're only reachable through small gaps. And they're also having to challenge other birds for the best spots. So you might also notice some squabbling.
What are some of the more challenging aspects of making this enrichment possible?
Well, with these birds, because I was saying parrots have really powerful beaks. So with smaller parrots, they're slightly easier to prepare enrichment for, because they're not their beaks aren't as powerful. But I guess these feeders won't work on larger parrots like macaws, for example. They'll just bend the wires apart to get to the fruit in seconds. In a way, with every enrichment we plan, we have to think of the species that we're preparing them for. Parrots are also really smart. They can figure out shortcuts very easily.
Am I right to say that there's always this challenge of trying to outsmart the birds themselves?
Yeah, especially with the, I guess, more intelligent animals, like your enrichment doesn't plan out at like what you want it to be, but it's also good for the birds. Like, it's good for the mental health if we give them challenges. So I guess with parrots, some people say they have the intelligence of 5-year-olds. So if you're a parent and you have kids of that age, you know that if you don't give them opportunities to use their intelligence, they'll find ways to entertain themselves. And yeah, with parrots, they might decide to, tear the aviary apart or vocalize a lot louder and things like that.
So, Mark, this is a really impressive setup. How much prep work is needed for an enrichment like this?
Yeah, so some of it is not too difficult. So like the perches and the like leaves and stuff, you can maybe take half an hour to find the right plants that are growing in the park for them. But sometimes more elaborate things, like let's say you're putting up a swing for larger parrots, that might take a couple of hours, especially if you need to find the resources and do things like drilling. But honestly, like sometimes it doesn't matter. Like you put in all this work, and then parrots are so smart and the beaks are so powerful, they can easily dismantle like hours of work in minutes.
So, how do you go about planning what enrichment to do for your animals?
Whatever we plan is based on the species and I guess their physical capabilities and the natural behaviors that they show in the wild. There's actually quite a lot of research and thought that goes into some of this enrichment, especially with larger and smarter animals like parrots and primates. So with parrots, it's just how powerful they are and how smart they are.
So, as you can see, everyone, parrots are really not that easy to take care of. There's a lot of care and consideration that we have to keep in mind. Thanks, Mark, for sharing all of this with us today.
Yeah, no worries. So for those of you who are listening, if you have more questions about how we care for our parrots, drop us a comment below. Bye, everyone.
Bye!